Every single day, across every continent on Earth, billions of aluminum cans are tossed aside without a second thought. Stack them together and you would have a mountain of metal large enough to swallow entire cities whole. But here is what most people never realize. That mountain of so-called trash is actually one of the most valuable resources on the planet. Because aluminum never truly dies, it transforms. And inside the world's most advanced recycling facilities, something extraordinary happens to every single can that makes it back into the system. Let's follow that journey, from discarded waste to brand new product, step by step. The world produces over 70 million tons of aluminum every single year. That number is not slowing down. If anything, it is accelerating because aluminum has become completely indispensable to modern civilization. It is in your soda can, your car door, your window frame, the aircraft flying 35,000 feet above your head right now. But that scale creates an equally massive disposal challenge. Discarded aluminum piles up at a rate that would alarm most people if they actually saw the numbers. This is exactly why recycling aluminum is not just an environmental talking point, it is an industrial necessity. Roughly 35% of all aluminum used globally today comes from recycled sources rather than newly mined ore. And the reason the industry invests so heavily in recycling comes down to one staggering fact. Recycling aluminum requires only 5% of the energy needed to produce fresh aluminum from raw bauxite ore. That is a 95% energy saving on every single ton of recovered metal. The carbon reduction, the cost savings, and the energy efficiency make recycled aluminum one of the most economically logical materials in existence. Perhaps the most remarkable statistic of all, an estimated 75% of every aluminum product ever manufactured throughout human history is still circulating in the global economy today. The metal does not disappear, it keeps coming back. The recycling process begins not inside a factory, but on the street, in your kitchen, at the supermarket return station, and across the thousands of industrial scrap networks operating around the world. The United States operates one of the most sophisticated aluminum collection systems on Earth. Tens of millions of tons of aluminum scrap flow through this network every year, from household beverage cans and food packaging to factory offcuts and commercial waste streams. Every source feeds into a single continuous pipeline that keeps the entire recycling industry supplied. What makes aluminum unique at this very first stage is its built-in financial incentive. An empty aluminum can carries real monetary value, significantly more per unit than an equivalent plastic container. That value motivates individuals, businesses, and waste collectors alike to ensure aluminum finds its way back into the system rather than into a landfill. It is one of the rare cases where doing the right thing for the environment is also the financially rational choice. Trucks loaded with crushed cans, bundled scrap, and industrial offcuts arrive continuously at massive receiving yards. Each vehicle is weighed and logged before hydraulically unloading its cargo onto intake conveyor systems. What arrives looks like chaos, a mixed surge of gleaming metal fragments from dozens of different sources. But within minutes, that chaos begins to take shape. On-site technicians perform rapid contamination checks, rejecting any loads containing hazardous materials or unacceptable levels of foreign substances. The yard runs at relentless pace, processing thousands of tons of incoming material every single day. Once inside the facility, aluminum scrap moves onto a network of continuously running conveyor belts. Above these belts, optical scanning systems perform something that looks almost like magic. Sensors analyzing thousands of individual pieces per second, identifying aluminum by its specific surface characteristics and light reflection properties. The moment aluminum is identified, the separation begins. Powerful electromagnets pull out any ferrous metals, steel, iron, that may have entered the stream. Precisely calibrated bursts of compressed air then divert the aluminum away from plastics, paper, glass, and other lightweight materials that cannot be processed in the same cycle. What began as a disordered mixture of waste gradually organizes itself into clean, consistent streams of a single material. By the time aluminum exits the sorting stage, it has been chemically and materially separated from everything else, a uniform flow of metal ready for the next transformation. Sorted aluminum scrap feeds directly into industrial shredding units of considerable size. Conveyor systems drop cans, containers, and thick industrial pieces continuously into counter-rotating steel rollers equipped with hardened cutting teeth. The force applied is extreme. Metal that took significant energy to form originally is broken apart in fractions of a second. The sound inside a shredding hall is unlike anything else, a continuous heavy metallic percussion that never stops. Within just a few rotations, hundreds of kilograms of aluminum are reduced to small, roughly uniform fragments. Additional spinning blades and crushing hammers work alongside the primary rollers to handle thicker, more rigid pieces that resist the initial pass. As the shredded fragments cascade down onto lower conveyor systems, vibrating screening equipment regulates their final size, ensuring that every piece moving forward meets the dimensional specification required for consistent melting. Uniformity at this stage directly determines quality at every stage that follows. Shredded aluminum scrap enters the furnace, and this is where the true transformation occurs. Depending on the type of scrap being processed and the intended final application, facilities use different furnace configurations: reverberatory furnaces, rotary kilns, or electric arc systems. Each operates as a sealed, precisely engineered environment where three variables are controlled simultaneously: temperature, airflow rate, and material agitation rate. Internal temperatures are maintained between 660 and 750 degrees Celsius. This range is critical. Too low and the aluminum will not liquefy completely. Too high and valuable alloying elements begin to burn off, degrading the final product's properties. Aluminum enters through top hatches or tilting feed chutes and is kept in constant motion by mechanical agitators or controlled air injection to ensure even, consistent melting throughout the entire batch. Advanced facilities incorporate heat recovery systems that capture energy from exhaust streams, reducing overall consumption. Multi-stage filtration units clean outgoing gases, capturing aluminum oxide particulates and neutralizing harmful compounds before anything leaves the building. Thermal sensors and chemical analyzers run continuously, monitoring every variable in real time. A single undetected error can compromise an entire melt. Thousands of tons of material failing to meet specification because one parameter drifted outside its acceptable range. The stakes at this stage are enormous. What emerges is a continuous flow of clean, molten aluminum, liquid metal ready for the next transformation. Molten aluminum looks pure. It is not. Even after complete liquefaction, the metal still carries contamination invisible to the naked eye. Aluminum oxide compounds, residual paint coatings, traces of lubricants, microscopic dust from the furnace environment itself. These impurities must be removed before the metal can become a usable product. The primary technique is flux treatment. A specially formulated chemical compound is introduced directly into the molten metal. As it reacts, it binds chemically with suspended impurities, drawing them together into a lightweight dross layer that rises to the surface. This layer is then removed, either mechanically or manually, leaving behind significantly cleaner metal underneath. In more advanced facilities, inert gases, typically argon or in some applications chlorine, are injected at carefully controlled pressure through submerged lances. Tiny bubbles travel upward through the molten aluminum, capturing dissolved hydrogen and excess oxygen, carrying them to the surface for removal. The result is metal with dramatically reduced gas content, a critical quality parameter for the most demanding applications. Temperature is maintained precisely throughout this entire stage. The aluminum must remain liquid and workable while refining proceeds, but must not overheat to the point where new contamination is introduced. Refined molten aluminum moves into the casting area, and here, for the first time in the entire process, the metal begins to take a defined physical shape. Casting represents the transition from formless liquid to structured material. Aluminum is poured into molds constructed from steel, graphite, or specialized heat-resistant composites. The specific mold geometry depends entirely on what the metal will eventually become. Vertical molds produce ingots. Horizontal molds form fixed slabs. Continuous casting systems use water-cooled channels to force rapid, controlled solidification as the metal flows in a steady stream. 3 variables determine whether this stage succeeds or fails: pour rate, mold temperature, and cooling intensity. If metal flows too rapidly, gas becomes trapped inside, creating pockets that weaken the final structure. If the mold runs too cold, solidification begins unevenly, generating internal stress fractures invisible from the outside. Every parameter must remain precisely balanced throughout the entire pour. Modern plants run casting as a fully automated sequence. In some specialized operations, experienced technicians still manage the process manually, adjusting flow rate by hand with split-second timing, reading the behavior of the metal visually and making corrections in real time. Once solidified, a hydraulic mechanism releases each ingot from the mold. Mechanical clamps secure the heavy block, some weighing several dozen kilograms, and transfer it to an outgoing conveyor. Sensors immediately verify dimensions and surface condition, confirming that no distortion occurred during the release sequence. Solid ingots transfer into preheating furnaces, where they are brought to the precise temperature required for rolling, soft enough to deform under pressure, but not so hot that surface quality degrades. Each ingot then passes through a series of counter-rotating steel roller pairs. The gap between each pair narrows progressively as the ingot advances through the rolling line. What began as a block several inches thick is compressed and elongated with each pass, gradually becoming thinner, wider, and longer. A continuous water mist system manages surface temperature throughout the rolling sequence, preventing heat buildup that could cause cracking or dimensional distortion. By the final rolling stand, the aluminum has been reduced to a thin, continuous sheet, sometimes just a few hundredths of an inch in thickness, moving forward as a steady strip that is immediately wound into large, standardized coils. Those coils leave the recycling facility and re-enter the manufacturing world. Within weeks, the aluminum that was once a discarded beverage can has become a component in a new product, perhaps another can sitting on a supermarket shelf, perhaps a component in an automotive panel, perhaps structural material destined for a building facade or an aircraft fuselage. Aluminum recycled through this system loses nothing. Its structural properties, its workability, its conductivity, all remain fully intact through every cycle. The metal that went through this process today can go through it again in 10 years, and again after that. There is no theoretical limit to how many times aluminum can be recycled without degradation. But the entire system depends on one decision, made by one person at a single moment. Whether the empty can in your hand goes into the recycling bin or the general trash. In regions with structured deposit return programs, over 80% of aluminum cans make it back into the recycling pipeline. They're back as new products within weeks. In areas without those systems, the same cans end up in landfills where their potential is permanently lost, their energy value wasted, their material locked away from the cycle indefinitely. The technology exists, the infrastructure exists, the economic logic is overwhelming. The only variable that remains uncertain is the individual decision, repeated billions of times every single day across every corner of the planet. That decision is yours. Drop it in the recycling bin. Keep the cycle running, because aluminum was never meant to be thrown away. It was meant to come back, better, cleaner, and ready for whatever the world needs it to become next.